Hello everyone, this is a follow-up from the energy masterclass that we did on the universal vibrations. Now today we're going to be going into how that affects your sign according to the solar activity. Now we went through on that energy masterclass about the three types of energy that we mainly speak about coming from the sun, and that is coronal holes, filament energies, and sunspot energies. And we did talk about the ups and downs and the flows of the solar cycle and stuff like that. We will be going into another video about the rhythms, not only of the universal rhythms, but also us as individuals and the rhythms that we go into on the Astroflower. But today we're just going to be talking about elements and qualities. And when this energy comes through from the sun, what parts of your Astroflower it may be affecting. This can then once you understand this, then you can adapt this also within to the tarot readings that we do, understanding the petals that it comes through. Okay, it's just to help you, gives you a little bit of a heads up, gives you a nice little nuance on the readings, certainly within your chakras, but mainly within the tarot readings as well. Okay, so we're going to be doing this through each sign, so it's time-stamped in the description below. If you want to jump straight onto your sign, you're more than welcome. Okay, so starting off with Aries. Aries, you are a pure fire sign, so you have that fire that goes all the way round your flower, basically. So you're going to be mainly affected by sunspots and the eruption of sunspots, solar sort of sunspots, which is very fast energy. It's going to make you very zippy on the outside of your interaction with the outside world. But you do also have that fire inside you on petal 3 and petal 2. So it's going to be affecting your karmic path, as it were. This is within your elements here. It's going to be affecting how you sort of as you're integrating it with other people that are around you, and you make yourself very quick and zippy. It's also going to raise maybe questions about where you're going in life. So during that moment there, it might be a good moment there to reassess your karmic path, just to sort of stop, take a look around you and see what's going on there. But because it's also a sunspot energy, and that's that fire energy, it's also going to affect the cardinal factor that is around you. So that's going to affect your sort of integration. But also it's going to ask your sort of question, your long-term belief of how you make money, how you do your business, how you do your projects, your job, your things like that. That's what comes in there. And it's going to be trying that sort of side more than anything else. And this side here, it's going to be, it gives you a go-between. So it gives you sort of like, it's almost like window shopping in a way on your karmic path on this sort of side. There is another effect here, and it tends to be shorter time effect. And that is the air energy, which comes in here on these top of these two petals here. So as you do confront your karmic, if you do have karmic issues that come up within your life, these elements here are going to be also barreling down on it. And as it comes down on it, it's going to feed that fire, almost encourage that fire to step out of that karmic path. That's with your fire energy. Obviously, there's physical effects that it can create. That's not what we're going to be going in today. That's for another time, for another video. Let's move on to the second one, which is filament energies. Now, this is water. And surprisingly, you have a lot of water within you, Aries. You're very emotional from within. And this creates that sort of boiler effect of the steam that builds up in you, and that sometimes it kind of goes and it explodes. I've got lots of Aries around me. Love them dearly, and yet when they're on a mission, they're really on a mission, and they get a real head of steam going. So you've got this water coming in from Pisces. It's playing directly into that, because filament energies are mutable energies. So this is going to be playing on that karmic mission here, maybe creating doubts within yourself, or emotional doubts within yourself, which could sort of play into you a little bit in accordance to your sort of how you do things, how you integrate with life, because you have that water running right up to the top of the surface of your Astroflower. So therefore, it's how you integrate with other people. And sometimes you can, sometimes you can have a few doubts within yourself of how you do this. The other things which you do have water coming in is from Capricorn on this side, and this is bringing the emotions that are coming up through you and how you connect with the greater spirit, with the universe, as it were. So, and you've got that fire on the outside as well, so it can be quite conflictual how you place yourself within the universal system sometimes. There's some things you just don't understand. You know, why does this illness exist? Sort of thing. You know, if there's a lovely God, why does they create this sort of illness that sort of kills everyone? You know, and then within your karmic path as well here, it's going to create fundamental doubts within your karmic path according to your material path. Now, these doubts can be turned on their head, so then it actually can reinforce that karmic path that you're going on. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, these sort of doubts. It's certainly, it's almost, because it's fixed, it gives you a certain, and you've got that fixed fire next to it as well. It probably converts it from doubt to, shall we say, hard-headedness. You know, when you got a bee in your bonnet, you got a bee in your bonnet. And this what might come from it, and it might stimulate that even further. So what you might have doubts on the personal sort of side, but on your physical sort of side, that seems to be the thing that carries you through emotional times. Let's move on to coronal holes. Now, coronal holes are the Earth's energies. This you have, it's only the third level of elements that you do have on you. So you have fire, followed by water, followed by earth, followed by air. And you have this earth that comes in from Taurus. And that also is going to, and that's just underneath the petal 10, so that's about how you're interacting with life around you. That's where you like things solid. You like things convicted. You like things in order and sorted out and in a logical and a progressional thing, that everything can be measured and put in its place. And this will heighten that in times of coronal holes. You really want to get on, you really want to do things, and you really want to sort of make sure that the things are done in the right order and that everybody's sticking to the plan. That's why you're very good at organizing, very good at working as well. You're one of life's really hard workers. On this side here, this is where you get the Earth coming in from Cancer, which is much more sort of sociable and etc. And this may stimulate from the universe integration of your sort of social life, your emotions in a physical way within the world around you. So like it could be activities that you do with other people. It could be windsurfing. It could be lots of different sort of activities. Okay. And that's going to stimulate that. And if it does stimulate that within your life, then look at the coincidences and start going into it. Okay. So it will depend on the time of year as well. And this is according to your rhythms. But these are little nuances. And once you understand these little nuances, all of a sudden you can realize that you maybe, rather than it's you going off your path, you're being pulled off your path by the vibration that is around you. Once you can realize that, it can give you a really good heads up. Let's just have a quick look at, let's just take an example of a card, for example. Let's just say we've got like a coronal hole going on, yeah? And let's just say it was pulled up in this card here. Well, this card is the cups of water. So it's the 5 of cups, disappointment in a way. And I think this disappointment, so it's going to be there's no earth in this section here whatsoever. So what it's going to be doing is increasing the water levels, which you come in your cardinal section here, which is going to push all the doubts within you. And you're going to be able to ride those doubts a lot better, basically. Let's just see. Let's just try and see if we can pick another, like an Earth card. There's not an Earth card going to be coming, is there? There's nothing but ones. Let's just say there's an Earth card and it comes up in that petal there. Let's just. We've got the Four of Pentacles there. Here with the Four of Pentacles, this is going to sort of holding on too tightly, maybe to that plan of action, or maybe you should be holding on tighter to that plan of action. It will depend on what you're going through. Obviously, these are general readings. What we're trying to do here at the Astroflower is give you a heads up so you can navigate life with a lot more ease and get a lot more out of it. Because when you do, everybody else does. The world becomes a better place. Okay? So, you can integrate it within your tarot reading as well. So there you go, Aries. Obviously, your book is available and you can get your book, and that obviously goes into much greater detail onto all these sort of qualities and elements and etc., which you'll find in the link in the description below. In the meantime, Aries, I will see you for your karma readings during this week, and also your weeklies, which will be coming out on Saturday. In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy. Okay? Moving on to Taurus. Taurus. How you doing, Taurus? Let's go into the elements and how they affect you at the moment, or how they affect you during the solar activities. Let's go into the first one, which is sunspots. Now, that's fire and air. The main thing to look at here is you have a crossing of fire and air, which is just below your integration with the world around you. This fire comes from the pure sign of Aries, your neighbors, but you do also have that fire coming in from Gemini on this side. And equally, you have the fire, which is part of your base. So sometimes you can have that fire that comes up around through you. And during solar flares, you might find yourself a little bit dried out on the outside world. You may feel like you're a little bit, oh shit, life is hard, or the physical things are hard in life, because it's going to be hardening the earth which is around you in this section here. As that cardinal fire does come down through you, it's going to be bringing down on your relationship side, onto your karmic path, emotional sort of stuff, passionate sort of stuff. And you've got that cardinal earth that sort of comes up through it. So it may give you a sense of, within your relationships during these solar storms of the sunspots, of being a little bit too fixed within your karmic path and a little bit too direct with the people that might be around you. So it's a time to sort of be a little bit softer with yourself to start with, because it's your karmic path, but also softer with other people that are around you. Okay, let's move on to filament energies. Now, filament energies is water, and you have a surprising amount of water within you. You have your fixed water here that comes in from Aquarius. You have that mutable water that comes through you from a pure sign of Pisces, and then you have that water coming out of you that it comes from Cancer. So in this side here, it's going to be mainly affecting your material side of life. So this is where you get emotionally involved in your side of life. You will be tying up loose ends. So tying up the difference or the connection between physically doing things and the ideas of how you want them to be in place, basically. This mutable energy here, and because it's mutable energy within the filament energies, it's probably going to sort of calm your fires and your passions that come up through you. So you may find you're a little bit more sort of relaxed about things, a little bit sort of going between, sort of transitional. So you may find yourself a little bit less sort of stressed about how things work out, and a lot more sort of enjoyable, enjoying the moment, as it were. You do have this fixed water, which is at the base, and this is mutable energy, so it's going to be pulling that fixed in that sort of direction. It's good time for observing what's going on in the universe or the world that is around you, to see whether there's any changes within your plans for your material side of life, your job, your business, and your projects. Here you have that cardinal water coming up, and this is going to enforce that even further. So it's going to give you directions within your relationships, within your emotions and your connections with other people. Okay, so that's the good time to explore, to become very sociable within the people, and also, to a certain extent, to be a leader, or to be that person who has that weight that can sort of say stop and calm, and be that calm person within it, because you're going to have that sort of direction going up through you. Okay, let's have a look now on the coronal holes. Now, coronal holes is the earth energy, and that's on the outside of you there. This is where coronal holes will be inducive to doing work, getting things done, making things, etc., building things. And this on the surface, it's like when coronal holes in, it's a moment for you. You just get down, get your head down, and you just go through. And this is on both sides, within your relationships or your emotional sort of side, but also about your physical sort of side. The good thing about it is, as well, is you have the universe which will be backing up your emotional sort of side of life, your relationship side, because you have that fixed earth that comes in from Leo. I'll get there in a minute. From Leo. And this reinforces that sort of almost a structure of kind of sort of saying, these are my friends, these are my family, no one touches. A very protective sort of scenario that builds up within you in regards to your relationships. So you might find yourself a little bit more sort of triggered in the protective sense of family or friends or community or partners and etc. Here you have the cardinal water, the cardinal fire, so earth, coming up from Cancer, and this is going to be fueling those the karmic path for your relationships. So you're going to be looking to have physical interactions with others that are around you, doing things with others that are around you, and it's going to stimulate the ideas of doing activities and etc. Okay, so it will depend on the sort of card that comes out. Let's just pick a card here. I'm trying to find a Pentacles. Let's just say the Three of Pentacles came out in this section here. That's earth energy. Look, we're talking about coronal holes here. So this is about sort of fixing or getting well-defined your interaction with the world around you. And then we're not talking humans here. We're more talking a case of sort of the universe, as it were, within your physical, emotional environment, within your relationships. And it's working in tandem with it. If it came out in this section here, it's working with the relationships that are around you to give yourself a new direction. And there's good work in there. So that's the meaning of the card. Okay. So if it comes out in, let's say it comes out in this section here, it will give fertile ideas, because it's an earth sign. Your waters are going to be a little bit more sort of cloudy with that coronal hole energy. We're still talking about coronal hole energy. But it also feeds the fire, because that's what earth does. It feeds that fire, but it makes it for very fertile land. So then this brings up a lot of ideas that could physically connect you to the outside world. That's how you could integrate it within the tarot reading that we do on this channel week in, week out. Okay, so there you go, Taurus. There is links in the description below, so you can observe what's happening on the sun on a daily basis. So you will be able to see if there's these sort of vibrations coming our way. Sometimes it can take up to 2 or 3 days to get to us. So there you go, Taurus. It's a bit of an in-depth. It'll help you to understand the Astroflower a lot more, and you can integrate things in your reading as we go forward. Okay, so thank you very much, Taurus. Let's move on to Gemini. Gemini. Okay, Gemini, thanks a lot for being here with us. Let's talk about sunspots here. Sunspots, are we talking about fire and air? Now, you happen to be an air and a fire sign. So you've got 2/3 air and 1/3 fire within your system. You also have an incredible amount of fire within you. And in fact, you are what we would call a false sign. You've got more fire in you than you do have air. It is just the air that is the determining factor of how you integrate or how you interact with the world that is around you. Now, the thing is with sunspots, as I said within the masterclass, it's made up of air and fire. So it does play totally within your sign. But it is sort of cardinal. So it gives you a certain direction in life. The one thing we should notice here, obviously you've got your air going on the outside, so it's going to make you a little bit more sort of happy, light, and happy-go-lucky sort of scenario within you. It's going to make your air dance a bit, because it's going to stimulate the fire that is the base of you, and making that interaction with the world outside a little bit more sort of light and happy-go-lucky, as it were. The fire that comes in here from Aries is going to, well, on your physical path, bring in new ideas of directions that you might wish to take. And it's tied into your karmic path and also into your guides. So this is where you should be looking at coincidences that are around you, where your guides are trying to help you out and give you a direction within your life on your physical sort of sense. On this side here, we have that fixed fire that comes in here. So it's going to make you it's going to make you have a sort of a passion within your relationships that are sort of driven by 1 + 1 = 2. It's very logical and process driven. And this is where we do get a lot of your processing with this fixed energy on this side within you. There is a plan of action. There is a way of doing something. Excuse me. There is a way of doing something. So within your emotional side and your relationship side, this is that passion that's going to be stimulated. It's going to almost ask questions of how you interact, or how you interact with the relationships that are around you. Okay, that's during your sunspots, which is that fire and air. The thing which is also at your base, it is going to stimulate idea of movement, of going somewhere and doing something. Stimulate movement within you. Okay, let's move on to filament energies. Now, filament energies is the water. Now, you do have a reasonable amount of water within you. The funny thing is within you, and this is why you're a full sign, within you, and you're not the only one, there is 4 of them: Gemini, Cancer, Sagittarius, and Capricorn. Okay, you can look at those other signs, especially Sagittarius, because Sagittarius is your opposite. Okay, so you do have a bit of water within you. It's on this side, so it's but you do have the fire of yourself. So it's going to be sort of releasing emotions as you connect with the universe around you, with the zeitgeist, with the with the prana energy, or with the energy of the world that is around you. And this is not just within humans, this is with everything. And it's on the physical sort of side, the material sort of side. So it's going to stimulate a lot of emotions, or release a lot of emotions according about what you're doing. The other water energy you have, which comes from Cancer. Now, Cancer, it flows up through here, comes from the physical side onto the emotional and relationship side, and it crosses over that crossing point that is in the middle. So it's what it's doing is from your karmic path on your physical material side, it's driving those emotions of how how I'd like to provide for my family, my friends, how can I provide for them on a daily basis. It's going to stimulate those sort of energies through you that come up through you, and it's going to make you feel like that I need to be productive in my life. I need to sort of make sure everybody's covered. And that's where you get your really, really nice side, Gemini. You're just so nice to everybody. It's unbelievable. So that's going to play on that side, and that's going to stimulate the profit from your work side, so it profits your relationships that are around you. Let's get on to corona holes. And corona holes is earth energy. Now you have that mutable earth that comes in there. You've got the fixed earth that goes round you like that. So it divides you into two. So you can separate the material world and the emotional world. And there's like this barrier that goes between the two. Because corona holes are fixed energies as well, it's going to reinforce that. It's going to reinforce that idea of this is my work and I'm not going to allow it to affect my relationship side. So it's going to help you to separate your, separate work and play basically that goes between you. The other bit of earth that you do have is that cardinal earth that comes up through you there, which comes up from Cancer. So this is also provoking a little bit of sort of direction of where you want to go in according to your physical world. If you've got that separation between work and relationships, it's going to stimulate that idea of what am I doing here on this planet in the material world in regards to my job, my business, and etc. You may find yourself asking questions about that sort of side of life and the direction that it's taking. Okay, so that's on the corona holes as well. Let's just see if we were going to say like pull some cards in the tarot reading, because this is where you can make it sort of practical. Let's just pick a water sign. So we want the cups, the Queen of Cups. Let's just say the Queen of Cups came up here on your overall energies. It's going to stimulate, and we've got filament energies that are coming through at the moment. It's that, so you take the Queen of Cups, it's how she sort of radiates love, she engages with life, she invests in everything. It's also about a little bit about money and stuff like that. So how you position yourself and sharing. And that's what's going to stimulate that cardinal water that comes up through you. So it may heighten that idea of providing for the people that are around you. Okay? That's how it is. So it's if it's an earth card, it plays on another one. That's for another day. We'll go into how the cards play out a lot more on your Astroflower at some point in the Astroflower masterclasses. But it's just to sort of gives you a heads up. So then when you confront life, you're going to be able to confront it in a way that you realize what is working from within you and what is coming from the vibrations. So you can make a clear positioning according to where you're going and what you're doing, basically. Okay? So because the Astroflower is that. It's a tool to help you recognize what is the best way to approach things in life. That's what the Astroflower is here to do. And it has got huge amounts of depth, which we will be going into over time. There's obviously your book that you can get in the link below. And don't forget, I will see you for your karma readings as well, coming out this week, and your weeklies as well. In the meantime, Gemini, don't forget, life should be fun. Thank you very much for being here, so please do enjoy. Moving on to Cancer. Cancer, how you doing? You are one of these false signs, and that doesn't mean you are false. We're talking elements and qualities here. there is 4 full signs. So there's Gemini, which is your next year. There's Cancer, and then there is Sagittarius and Capricorn, your opposite. So you actually have more earth inside your Astroflower than water. And this is where, if you look inside your Astroflower, there is no water whatsoever. So your emotions are very, I wouldn't say it's just on the surface, but you engage with life in a very emotional way. And these emotions come out from a lot of thinking, a lot of calculating, a lot of putting things into practice or putting things into position, because you've got a lot of earth at your base. Okay, so let's get into how the sun can maybe affect you. Now we're talking about sunspots here. So we're talking about fire and air energy. And if you'll notice, underneath petal 10, you have a crossing of fire and air. So therefore, it's going to stimulate your here and now, your interaction with life around you. So you may find like you're just being run ragged. That may well be it for sometimes. And another side of it is that it could be highly stimulating, that you're really enthusiastic about life and really enjoying the moment. It's going to pick you up a bit like a coffee or something else beginning with C, that things like that. I wouldn't advise that, by the way. I don't do anything like that. I've done loads, but there's many things we do in our youth. But anyway, it will be stimulating that energy that is underneath it, and that's going to warm your waters. So you're going to be very emotionally open to the world that is around you, open to relationships, open to the emotions of other people as well. Be careful not to get overwhelmed in these times. Okay, we do have fire as well at the base here, so it's going to be putting a little bit of doubt within your karmic path according to your relationships that are around you. It may try that a little bit, and may make the pathway, your karmic path, seem a little bit rigid, repetitive. On your physical sort of side, you've got the similar sort of thing. You've got this this fixed fire that goes through you, and it creates like a firewall, like on a computer. It stops basically the physical world affecting your relationship side like a firewall. You also have that earth wall, which feeds that fire at the same time. And you tend to be very productive in your life. You tend to be constantly working away, constantly building for the future. And this is going to sort of help to put into, within your physical side of life, help to put it in its place, cross the T's and dot the I's, make things very practical within your life, and give you a constant passion to sort of kind of go, gotta do it, gotta do it, gotta do it. Here you have that cardinal fire that comes from Aries in here. And this plays into that energy of cardinal fire that comes from sunspots. So this is going to, you may feel that the universe around you is providing a lot of opportunities, giving you a lot of directions, giving you a lot of gifts at the moment. That's what it's going to be pulling through to you at the moment. And with that cardinal, your own personal cardinal earth that's coming up through you, you're going to be able to use that intuition to see real pathways through of what you do within your job, your business, and your projects, and your material world. Okay, so there you go. That's sunspots. Let's move on to the last thing I will say, because it's air as well. You do have that cardinal air coming in, where it's actually going out like that from Aries. It's a map I need to change, but it's bringing to the surface mental ideas of the past, of the path you should be taking in accordance to your relationships around you. It's going to stimulate ideas within you according to the physical sort of side. So And it could be sort of like, moving house together, or buying a car, or going on holiday together, or doing activities together with other people that are around you, basically. Okay, let's go on to filament energies. Now, this is that water. Now, you've only got water on the outside here. So, and it is mutable as well. So where you've got water that sort of brushes up from Pisces that's next to you. So it's almost like you're looking over the fence at this lovely energy. But what it might do within you is bring in a little bit of a doubt in the direction that you should be going in. Make things a little bit more sort of, I wouldn't say complicated, but certainly a little bit more sort of lack of direction. That's what I would have thought it would be giving you. But this water, or this emotional sort of side, will also free up a little bit of that earth and that firewall that you have. So this is where you get a little bit less in the way of direction, and you may find your physical world or your material world invading your emotional or relationship side of life. Okay, and that may change, put a lot of changing upon your pathway as you go forward. Okay, so that's mutable filament energies. Let's move on to the coronal holes. Now, coronal holes is earth energy. You have more earth than you do water. Okay, so you have that earth wall there, but you also have that mutable earth coming through from Virgo, and you also have that cardinal earth, which is at your base, coming through there. So what it's going to do is going to make your material life very concrete. You're going to get on and do things. It's going to be very practical from within you. It's also going to make the emotions that are around you a little bit more sort of solid in a way, have a little bit more conviction, or a little bit more weight to your emotions, basically. And it's so on the physical sort of side, it's going to make it very clear about what you want and how you want your pathway to be going in according to your job, your business, and stuff like that. That's going to stimulate within you. And that cardinal earth that comes up there is also going to bring forward in the universe concrete plans or possibilities or coincidences that connect to you in order for you to follow your path going forward. On the relationship side, you have that mutable earth coming through. Now, that mutable thing is usually that sort of very generous side that you have, that you look after the family, the friends, and the people that are around you. And this may, with earth energies, it may make it a little bit more concrete about it. Sort of kind of going, do I really want to invest in you? Do I really want to invest my time or the pleasures or the physical aspects of life within you if there's no return? If that's the sort of question that sort of could come up on your radar. And it's sort of going to, at the same time, it's going to sort of give you a little bit more in the way of direction of what you want to be experiencing on your karmic path in regards to your relationships. On this side here, you've got the cardinal earth that comes in here on that is from your good self. And this is what you want to bring into your life through the universe. So this could be tying into relationships in regards to, I would like to do this new activity or explore this activity. And it's going to help feed a little bit of that fire, that sort of side there, but feed that sort of ideas that maybe that come up in sort of sunspots before, or ideas that are coming up within mental interaction with the or conceptual sort of ideas in regards to your relationships that are around you. Let's just see if there was let's just pick a card out of here. King of Cups, is that right? The King of Cups. So yeah, so we got the King of Cups here. Let's just say, for example, you have the King of Cups, which is on that section there. You've got that water that's coming through there. and there's no other water around, so it's going to make that earth a little bit sort of much more malleable. So the connection you're going to have between the coincidences and the inner conversation that is within you, these guys here may actually start working a lot more together. What it might do though is give that calm journey, and that calm aspect that the King of Cups does have is quell a little bit of that fire and that air at the base. So you build it, so you're having a lot less pressure that you're building on your own good self. Okay, so this is how we sort of integrate the cards in it. You can do this on your weekly reading within this channel. These flowers you can find in the link in the description below. You can download them if you so desire, just to sort of see how it helps with you. And you also got your book, which you can find in the link in the description below. Okay, so yeah, I will see you for your karma readings coming out this week, and also your weeklies as well. Thank you very much for being with us here on the Astroflower. Don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy. Okay, so moving on. We're moving on to Leo. Okay, hello Leo, how you doing? That was a bit of a slurp. Okay, Leo, let's get into how the elements were affecting you. You're a fixed sign. You've got fire at the surface and earth at your base. So there's two things that can play really nicely to you, and you've got a lot of earth in you. So the material world should be really important to you. It depends on what you're doing in life and what your orientations is of how that material world sort of manifests it within your life. But that if we're talking, let's say, talking about sunspots, so this is fire and air. So the main interaction point is in this section here, and how you're being guided by life, how your guides are interacting with you. On this side, you have that cardinal air coming in. So when you've got sunspots coming in, there's going to be really clear, or you're going to get clearer information and coincidences within your life regarding your relationships. It's going to transgress that fixed fire that you have within you. So things, you're going to be more affected by the world outside. Okay. And on your physical side, and we get the same crossing point with the air and your fire. This air that sort of comes through here, and this fire here that's being stimulated on that side, because with the sunspots, it's cardinal energy rather than fixed energy, but it's also going to be giving a certain raison d'etre, or almost righteousness to your fire, and it's going to provide, I would have thought, a lot of confidence within yourself. When we mix the fire and the air here, this is going to be really burning. I think there's going to be lots of ideas, lots of possibilities that does need that work of that earth afterwards, of that mutable earth from Virgo, your partner, the sign next to you, as it runs through you here. So within your physical world and your material world, so your job, your businesses, and etc., during these periods here, you're probably going to have a lot of ideas. You're not necessarily going to have concrete ways of how to put those ideas into place, but certainly a lot of ideas, and it's going to stimulate the possibilities of tomorrow, of how you do things, and how you have that fixed fire like a beacon going out in the world. And that's where that confidence builds in. Okay, you've also got that fixed fire at the base here, which comes from Taurus, which is very similar to you, because Taurus has earth at the top and fire at the bottom. They're also fixed signs as well. And this plays off beautifully, where we can see fixed earth from yourself, fixed fire from Taurus, and then you have the same thing going out. So it gives you a certain consistency within the physical world, in according to everything that is around you, including your interaction with the universe that is around you. And it'll make things very logical, practical. You'll know where you're going in regards to things that are around you. Okay, you have that mutable fire that comes in here, and that sort of will stimulate the direction that you wish to take karmically within your path. Okay, over here we have that sort of cardinal air that we talked about earlier on, that's coming in on your relationship side. I think it actually really sort of goes the other way. I'm not sure about it's mainly going out from you, so it's going to be drawn out of you. So these ideas of how you would like your karmic path according to your relationships, of what you should be experiencing, that's going to be stimulated in you mentally. So the conceptual side of things, you may start seeing your pathway very conceptually at this moment. It'd be a good way to glimpse your future at that time. You've got that fixed air on this side as well, which comes in from Scorpio. And that's that sort of fixed air is going to be, the universe here is sort of saying, these are the confinements that you need to work within in order to stimulate those ideas of your karmic path. Okay, let's move on to filament energies. Now, filament energies is water. And as you can well see, you only have water coming down this section here. And it's crossing that earth that's going across the top there. So within your physical world, it may dampen the sort of results that you're getting. It may slow down the results, make things a little bit more emotionally stressing on the material side of life, less clear in the emotions that's supposed to be feeding into you at the moment, during that moment there. It might waver in the direction, as it were, going forward. And it also comes across this sort of central thing, and it may affect you. So basically, if you're getting a bit of emotional wobble within your material side, it's going to affect how you feel within you, and then it's going to affect the knock-on effect. May well be within your relationship side, feeling a little bit less in the way of confidence within you. Moving on to coronal hole energies. Now, the coronal hole energies is earth energies, of course. And this is where we can see on your earth, you have a lot of earth at the base there. You also have earth that's running through you, and on this section here. The main thing is, once you get these coronal holes in, coming in from within you, this is also a bit of confidence as well that builds up in you, as if to sort of say, I know where I am, I know what I want, or I know where I'm from. That sort of confidence, it builds up in you. It does as well, because the cardinal is fixed element as well. It's earth, but it's also fixed. It's going to reinforce that. And what it's going to do for this side here is going to make your physical side, your physical karmic path, your interaction between your inner being and the outside world, a lot more defined. It's going to be easier to work. It's going to be easier to physically find the solutions. It's going to be easier to apply methods or constructions or building businesses or building your career path and such. The other earth you've got is this cardinal earth that comes down from Cancer within you. Now that's all to do with family, and it's what it's going to affect there is that physical aspect, your positioning within your family, friends, your community, all the people that you have a relationship around you, and your status of how you wish to be with those people, what sort of position you want to have with those people. Okay, so that's all the stimulation that's going to be going on there. Now, if we were doing, say, like a reading with tarot, let's just pick out a fire sign. So if you're going to get a fire sign, so for example, the Six of Wands, it's all about sort of success and etc. and recognition. If it coming up in here, it is heightening that fire and air crossing point here, and it's going to heighten that idea of connection with your guide. So then therefore you're going to seem to be right on the button. You're going to know what's happening before it actually comes in into your life. If you've got it on this side, it's going to stimulate those ideas, ideas of how you want to sort of connect with people, the activities that you want to do. And it's going to also stimulate the passion that is within you. Let's just say we'll put it into this petal here, the top petal here, because at the base there's earth and water and only fire at the top. So basically it's going to sort of say, get out there. This is success for you. Get noticed. It's going to stimulate the fertile ideas that you have within you. Behind you, it's going to help you to try things out as well. Okay, so there's many different sort of permutations in according to the tarot cards. We will be going into it, but this is just a way to give you a heads up of how the energies may affect you, but also how it affects the cards as we read them. So it gives you a great nuance of your weekly readings in your tarot readings. So there you go, Leo. I think you'll find a link to your book in the description below. Thank you very much for being here. Don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy. Okay, moving on from Leo, this is on to Virgo. Hello, Virgo. Virgo, how you doing? Let me just grab myself a little bit of tea. So you are a pure earth sign. So we're looking, you've got earth, mutable earth that goes all the way around you. But you do have earth that is within you on your karmic paths on both the material and the physical side of life. So let's just try, let's have a look at one thing. So we're going to be looking at sunspots. Now this is that fast energy that goes into fire and air. And the first thing we should notice is that you have a crossing point above, below your petal 10, which is just below the surface, and of how you sort of stimulate your life to interact with other people. As you've got that fire and air energy, that is going to be on fire. So there's going to be a lot of within you, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that. It's going to dry out that mutable earth as well. So your eyes may be bigger than your stomach, as we would say in English or in England. You've got a lot more ideas than physically possible to do during this period here, simply because you're going to be pulled a little bit from pillar to post. You're going to be moving a lot all over the place, all around you. It's going to be stimulating, yes, but it might be a little bit difficult to get things done, which is already a difficult thing for Virgos to actually get that last thing done so it's done and dusted. It's a difficult thing to do simply because you're trying to help so many other people constantly within your life. And that's what that mutable, malleable earth is all about. You've got a lot of air in you. And this is where the other aspect of that sunspot is going to be affecting you. You've got air in this section here, mutable. You've got fixed air there, and you've got cardinal air on your physical sort of side. On that physical sort of side, it's going to stimulate conceptual ideas about what you can do, what paths, karmic paths you can follow in your life in regards to the material world. It's going to stimulate ideas of what you would like to sort of experience in the material world. It's also coming in from the emotional sort of side of your relationship, because that air comes all the way through. So it might be driven about fashion or things that you've seen around you, which is going to stimulate those ideas of what sort of karmic path to follow. On this side here, it's going to fixed ideas of sort of long-term relationships, marriage, sort of long-term friendships, and etc. It may shake a little bit of the foundation of your conviction of your karmic path in regards to your relationships. As regards to your interaction with the universe or the universe that is around you, It's going to stimulate that mutable thing. So it's going to provide possibilities, not just ideas. It's ideas that are fanciful. So you haven't really got the solidness like you would do behind this side on your karmic path. Over this side here, it's much more sort of, yeah, those things are possible. I don't know quite how to put them into place in regards to your relationships. Okay, so I think on this side here, this fire as well that comes in, this mutable fire that comes in on this sunspot energy, is going to provoke a lot of things within your guides, and ask your guides to become very fertile or very productive in the coincidences that they bring into you. Let's move on to filament energy. Now, filament energy is water energy. And as you can well see, you only have water coming in here and here. Here you have cardinal water, and here you have fixed. There is no mutable water within you whatsoever. That's all on the opposite side on Pisces. You're opposite. This is why it's good for Virgo to be with a Pisces, because it provides a lot of your opposites. Provides a lot of things that you don't have, as much as you provide a lot of things that the Pisces doesn't have. But here, with this filament energy, it's going to provide, it's going to stimulate the emotional connections that you have within your material world, and give it some sort of slack in a way, rather than being usually on a calm day of the sun when nothing's really going on. You're going to be in a situation where it's going to be very obvious how you apply your emotions within your physical world. You just go ahead and do it. Here it's going to be a little bit more lapsidaisy, a little bit more less directional. Might provide too much space within you, so it might be difficult for you to emotionally get behind your job, your projects and stuff like that. It may create a little bit of doubt in the direction that you think you should be going in the physical world, in the material world. On your relationship side, here we have fixed water. Now that's going to sort of free that up a little bit. It's going to make you less demanding emotionally on the world around you. So you're going to have a sort of much lighter, take it or leave it as it goes sort of scenario. Okay, so that's the filament energies. You're going to put a lot less pressure on your relationships that are around you. So you might lose that that concrete foundational sort of idea about how relationships should be led, and it stimulate a new way of doing things or interacting with the relationships that are around you. Last but not least, coronal holes. Now this is that earth energy. Now when coronal holes come into play, it's fixed earth energies, and you've got that down on your karmic path on your relationship side. So it's going to stimulate the ultimate connection that you do have with the relationships that are around you. Okay, within your emotional sort of side of life, within your relationship side. On your physical side, on your material world, here you have that cardinal earth coming in from Cancer, which is going to give you the sense of how it's going to stimulate that idea of, this is my path, this is my karmic path, this is what I should be physically doing, this is the job I should be doing, the business I should be doing, the projects I should be doing. And what it's doing here is reiterating it, almost confirming it a lot more, but confirming it in a way of your interaction with other people, how it connects with other people within your workspace, simply because it comes in from Cancer, and Cancer is a lot like that. You have a lot of connections with Cancer as well. It's that family aspect within Virgo is huge. Last but not least is all that earth that is around you. Normally you're a happy-go-lucky person. But when that coronal hole hits, you may start having your earth, your physical sort of side, sort of fixing, as if to sort of say, no, you've crossed me, I'm not going back there. You know, that sort of thing. It's convictional. It's like judgment energy in a way. It gives a sort of certain weight or sort of squaring off of life in accordance to not only your relationships but how you treat life. Basically, you know, if you think it's unfair, you're going to say it, and you're gonna make sure that's convicted within you. That can help you enormous amounts of things when you're going forward, because that conviction can then set you off on this is a level and I can go from that because that's where my convictions are. It gives you a new spurt of energy, a new foundation to work off. It can be very good, but it also can be very bad, like everything in life. Okay, let's just see if there's anything that we could do with a card, for example. Let's just take the Ace of Swords. So Ace of Swords is like almost like a stimulation or off the wall sort of gifts or opportunities from the world outside. It's a new start and etc. Okay, so if you've got so much air in you, it would be, let's just say here your guides are bringing in creating coincidences around you to stimulate that new path, stimulate that new section of your career path. But you've also got that cardinal air that's coming around your karmic path. So it may be tying into your karmic direction of what you have in life. It's going to stimulate it even further. It's also going to help stimulate a little bit of the universe coming in as well, feeding a little bit of that mutable fire in order to sort of give it a certain weight, a certain ferocity to your fire. But it more than anything else, it's going to give you a direction in the stimulus within your conceptual sort of place of where you want to be within your karmic path. The other effect it's going to have is on that water and earth. And the water and earth air, it will tend to dry it out. So it will dry out those connections that you do have with the outside world and make it very matter of fact in a way. This is what it's going to be supposed to be doing. It's going to make those opportunities and things like that a lot clearer. It will depend on where it's being pulled out. So let's just say it's being pulled out on this section here. It's going to help because it's an Ace of Swords. It's going to help to break down that fixed sort of fire, fixed air and that fixed earth, because the earth will be consuming that air as well. It's going to break it down so you can actually, it's an opportunity that is to be seized upon, that you can really integrate within your relationships around you. And this opportunity may come in from outside, from completely left wall, but it's going to fit within the rest of your relationships with ease, basically. So there you go. That's how you get a nuance just on the cards according to the elements and the qualities within the Astroflower. Okay, so there you go, Virgo. Thank you very much for being here. I think your book is linked, that you can get is linked in the description below. I will see you for your karmic readings on, I think it is on Tuesday, and also for your weeklies on Friday. We'll get there in a minute. So much going on this channel. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for your support for this sort of stuff. The Astroflower is here. It's trying to create a situation where it gives you a head up and makes life a lot easier for you and helps you to progress a lot quicker and concentrate on the things that are really worthwhile. In the meantime, Virgo, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy. Libra, moving on to Libra. Welcome, Libra. Let's just see what's going on within your energies and within your qualities. So we're talking about sort of sunspots, filament and corona holes. Here we have you are a pure air sign and your cardinal as well. And you've got all that air that goes on the outside of you there, but you do have that air that sort of plays upon your karmic path. So everything seems to be very, very mental. You're the most mental of the signs. And I mean that in a really nice way. I don't mean you're mad, although I've got enough Librans around me to know that that could well be the case. But at the same time, it makes like you're very quick mentally. You can work things out logically incredibly quickly. Moving to acting on things is the difficult part, because that depends on the earth. Okay, and you do have quite a bit of earth within you, because you want those you do want that things to work. The thing that is a little bit complicated though is probably the fire that comes in through you. So let's just say we're having sunspots that are coming through you. What it does on the outside is stimulate the speed of your mental agility. Now, this can cause stress. This can cause anxiety. It depends on what you're doing. If you find that you're actually working in a project or within your relationships, you're really engaged with all of that sort of side, and it's really busy, then therefore it's going to stimulate your air in a very beautiful way. It's going to make you very happy, vibrant, very social, very funny, very artistic, which you tend to be as well. That's that mental stimulation. It's going to provide a lot of stimulation within your life and just make you feel happy and zippy. It depends on your situation. So you've got to quantify that, and it depends on the rhythm of life as well, and the rhythm within the sun as well, depending on highs and lows of the sun. So that should also be all taken into account. The thing that is the most important thing, I think, within your sort of thing is this fire that comes in here, because sunspots are tied into air and fire. It's going to stimulate the interaction you do have with coincidences. You're going to be sort of very intuitive in a way within the environment that is around you. You're going to sort of notice a lot easier the undercurrents of life, basically, of what is going on around you. Having that intuitive sort of side of life, and also making the coincidences come in very, very quickly within you. So then that's going to prick your ears up as well and stimulate you again. This can have bad effects, as I said earlier on. It can create anxiety within you. And some of your anxiety may come directly from the sun. So do observe how it's happening, what's happening in the sun, in order to sort of give you a clear heads up about what's going on. Okay? On your cardinal paths here, it's going to, within your physical sort of side, it's going to shake a little bit of your foundations of what you should be doing, giving you a little bit more sort of direction, maybe changing the orientation a little bit. Within your relationship side, it might bring, it's going to give you a bit more conviction according to your emotions and how they interact with others around you. Okay, let's move on to filament energies. Now, filament energies is water energies, and what we have here is that water energy, that fixed water up there, and that cardinal water down there. You don't have a great, huge deal of water within you, simply because you've got a lot of mental stuff, mental energy, third eye energy going on within you. So this filament energy here, we have this crossing of the earth and the water at the top here, which is your interaction, just what's driving you behind you. So you want life to be very productive, but because you've got that surface of air, it doesn't always come out like that. But with the filament energy that's playing on your fixed water that comes through you, what you thought was emotionally one way may not necessarily be that way. And it brings in a little doubt within you more than anything else. A doubt of your conviction of your emotions and how you interact your emotions in the outside world. So that could play on that side a little bit. On your petal one, so this is your connection to the universe, you've got that cardinal water that comes through from Capricorn. And Capricorn's very practical, very... they're an amazing, they've got amazing elements and qualities within them, Capricorn, because they tend to be, there's an equal amount of all the elements within them. It's the most mundane signs of all. I'm a Capricorn, so you know it's very, very sort of mundane. But here it's within your emotional relationship side. Here it's giving a little bit more sort of the universe is almost offering up possibilities, emotional possibilities within life. So as this filament energy comes through, you may have opportunities of connecting with other people in different ways than you normally would have the habit of connecting with people. Okay, let's have a look at coronal holes now. Coronal holes is that earth energy. Here we have that mutable earth, constant earth from Virgo that is constantly on the go. It's earth that sort of, there's movement in that earth. It's very soft and malleable. So within you there, when these coronal holes come through, and this coronal holes is tends to be associated with fixed earth, which you do have there, what it's going to do is it's going to quell a little bit of your physical doubts of what you can physically do within this world. It's going to quell a little bit of your doubts or your physical sort of connection with your karmic path in accordance to your relationships that are around you, and give it a bit more structure, a bit more sort of foundation, a little bit more weight to it more than anything else. And with that weight that comes through it, you may find that life is just a little bit slower, that you end up doing things a little bit mundanely, a little bit, I wouldn't say boring, but you know, it's similar to that sort of thing. But on your physical side, as I say, you've got that fixed earth there and that cardinal earth there. It's going to make you a lot more a lot more conviction about what path you should be following within your relationships, basically, within your material side of life. It's also going to help the universe to stimulate, to bring to the fore directions for you to take, okay, going forward. So there you go. There's all the three. Let's just see, for example, let's see how it ties into a card here. So we got the Knight of Cups. I'm just picking cards just like that. It doesn't really mean anything, as it were. You can take and read what you like. So it's water energy. Okay. So let's put it on this side here, because you got no water here at all. And this is sort of like opportunities that are coming in. And certainly if there's filament energies as well, it's going to make these, this passion that you have with the connection with the outside life, it may involve a lot more emotions within your intuition, which may not necessarily be a good thing within your physical side of life. It may provide a lot of dreams, but maybe dreams that are not obtainable, for example. But it's also gonna make that universal side, because that water is connecting with it, and it will enhance those gifts that are coming in from the universe and make them make them a lot more sort of fertile and possible within your life that is around you. Okay, so that's just one example. Obviously there's loads of examples and there's loads of cards, so you'll have to sort of take it as you read, as you watch the weekly readings on our channel, which comes out for you on the Saturday, and your karmic mission readings as well. You know, it's going to help you give a bit of nuances if you observe what's going on at the sun at the same time and how it's affecting the earth. So there you go, Libra. Thank you very much for being here with us and supporting this channel. There's loads of links in the description below. Thank you very much for being here. Life should be fun, so please do enjoy. Moving on to Scorpio. Scorpio. Let me just take a bit of water. Thank you very much. So Scorpio, fixed water with fixed air. So you have this water at the top of you here and your air at your base. We're going to see how that sort of connects in with the different types of vibrations that comes through from the sun. So just having a quick look there, you mainly have your waters, which is on one side rather than the other, on going through you. This is much more mutable, and this is much more sort of fixed, as it were. So let's just take sunspots. Now, sunspots are fire and air. So what we have here at the base of your petal 10, and this is like, it's fire and air. So it's going to stimulate those things there. It's going to stimulate the idea of your relationships, of what you should be living within your relationships, and how it actually integrates into your physical and material world. It's going to stimulate a lot of those things. It's going to make as well, because it's cardinal, it's going to make the very mental ideas. It's going to stimulate your intuition as well, in you know, feeling what's going on in the situation. But with all that fire and that air going on and all that water at the surface, it's going to shake a little bit of your conviction of your emotional sort of side of life, your capacity to have a control over your emotions. It may try a little bit of your controlling of your emotions. If you're doing things, actually, and doing things in life, it's going to stimulate it a lot better. It's going to make life, those emotions, a lot more fertile, a lot more sort of like a sauna, very relaxing and enjoyable, basically. But so it depends on your sort of situation. It's the same thing for everybody. But it's the notable thing that we should be sort of saying here, there is only that fire there that is within you. The rest of it, there is no fire. The only things that are going to be stimulated is that cardinal air that comes up through you from Libra, and that mutable air that comes across from your neighbor in Sagittarius. So within your physical sort of side, it may give you directions within your karmic mission according to your physical side of life, your job, your business, and your workspace, your projects, and etc. But also, it's going to give you that sort of, it's going to stimulate that direction of your spirit and according of where you want to be. And this is going to provide ideas of position, of how you position yourself, how you see you positioning yourself within the community that is around you. It's also going to affect your base, and it's going to stimulate your base the way you have that capacity to change that path within you, rather than so it changes that path that is within you rather than rather than the path that is changing outside of you, if you know what I mean. So you're going to be able to sort of reorientate yourself without the rest of the world knowing. So you can, do things under the radar, as it were. Okay? Let's get on to mutable, that mutable energy of the filament energies. Now, it's also water energy. And that is also what plays out on the top there. And you do have that water, which is on your emotional sort of side. You've got the cardinal going through your karmic path, and your connection, the fixed water going through the connection to the universe. And that comes in on through from Sagittarius. So truth is really important to you in a way, in regards to the universe, basically. This is where we find the less willing to take the risk aspect of Scorpio, because you don't want to do things wrong. You don't want to do things wrong, not only for you, but for other people. You don't want to get it wrong. So it's also sort of with that filament energy that comes in on your karmic path, it may just give you a bit of doubt about where you're going within your relationships. On the outside of you, that's where it's going to sort of, it's going to affect that fixed water that is you. And as I said, sort of bringing a little bit of doubt of your connections with other people, a little bit nervous about your connections with other people or connections with your physical or material side of life. The last one is the coronal holes. Now, this is earth energy. Now, you do have earth that comes in here. You also have earth that comes through your material side of life and on your connection to the material side of life through the universe. And this coronal holes is the fixed energy here. And this is where it works on plans of what you want to do within the material side of life. So your job, your business, and etc. This is why when Scorpio tends to get a job, they get a job and they stay in that job. They don't tend to move a lot around between one job and another. It takes a lot for a Scorpio to sort of change direction in that sort of sense. And when you get coronal holes, it's going to impact it as well. It's going to quell those ideas, that mental stimulation from the universe outside you, and reconfirm your position. On the mutable energies that's going through there, it's also going to make things a little bit more concrete. So it's going to make you a little bit more sure about where you should be going in life, in the material sort of side. And here you have your cardinal earth that comes through you on your relationships. And rather than giving you sort of, it's going to stimulate the idea of wanting concrete directions within your life, basically, during those moments. Let's go into, let's just pick a card. There you go, 6 of Wands, that'll do. 6 of Wands, fire energy, of course. It's all about sort of, notoriety, being seen, the arrival or the completion of something, the success of something. And let's put it in this section here on your relationship, because there is no fire on here. We've only got fire up in this section here. If it's within that side there, it's going to try a little bit your fixed water. That's what it's going to do there. So it's going to test you in a way of your emotional sort of orientation to your relationships around you. But it's also going to stimulate that path going forward with that air being fed with that fire, which is going to feed that earth on fed with that earth that's going to feed that fire, which is on that card there, to stimulate the ideas of maybe I should be doing that in life, that sort of thing. So there's a nuance that can be given to any card that's sort of placed within your petals. And this helps you to actually get a much more defined weekly reading, tarot weekly reading, according to the cards and according to your elements and your qualities. But then if you add on top of that the accordance to what the sun is doing, you can really get some quality stuff going on in the way of seeing of what you should be and where you should be, and etc. There you go. I think you can find your book linked in the description below. There's loads of going on. You've got your karma readings coming out this week as well, where I will see you for your weeklies as well. Thank you very much for being here, Scorpio. And yeah, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy. Sagittarius, moving on to Sagittarius. How are you doing, Sagittarius? So, as you can see from your Astroflower, here you have mutable fire, and there you have mutable air. So you are 2/3 fire and 1/3 air. Now the funny thing is if you look within the rest of your flower, there's no fire at all. The only fire you do have is on the outside. If there's too much air going on, that can sometimes, blow your fires out. So this is one thing you need to be sort of conscious about when you're getting that mental activity going. Basically, it can be a really good stimulation for your interaction with the outside world, but it could also sort of make you feel a little bit overwhelmed. Okay, let's just see what the connection is according to the sun. So let's take sort of first of all coronal holes. Now coronal holes is also all to do with fire and air, so it's to do with you, but it's to do with cardinal fire and cardinal air, which you do have running up through you here. So during these moments of sunspots, you may find that your karmic path is being stimulated with conceptual ideas of what you would like to be doing, new ideas, new experiences to be had on your material side. On this side here, you have that fixed air that goes through there, and it's going to be trying your conceptual ideas of your relationships that are around you. So basically, mentally, you would sort of saying, if I do this activity, I'll stimulate this. Oh, well, maybe I may not stimulate it in this way. It's just going to provide a little bit of doubt to what you thought before of kind of sort of saying, I did this activity and that was the result. When you get that sunspot energy that comes in, it may provide a little bit more sort of doubt within that conviction, that mental conviction that you do have within you. Also, it's just on the whole sort of thing, it's going to be self-stimulation. So you're going to find you're going to be very self-sufficient during these periods here, and self-activating basically. Let's get on to filament energies. Now, filament energies is water energies. Now, you do have a lot of water. You have that water, that fixed water that comes up and goes up through you there. You also have that fixed, that cardinal water that comes in from your neighbor Capricorn. But you also have the mutable water that comes in from Pisces on that side there. So you do have a lot of emotions that run through you. So when you get this filament energy coming through you, from what you normally would have fixed emotions according to life, it's going to put a little bit more weight on that sort of thing. So you get a double whammy in a way. It may create within you doubt within your emotional conviction or your emotional connection to your relationships, but also your emotional connection to your physical side on the material sort of side in the here and now. It will also sort of reduce maybe the emotional clarity of your path that you should be living on your material sort of side. On the other side of it also could be, because there is two sides to everything, it can also sort of stop your conviction, emotional convictions that you do have about things in life. So you can be a little bit more relaxed about it. You can allow a little bit more free and a little bit more sort of room for maneuver, which is what this Pisces energy is going to do and how the universe is going to influence it from you. Let's move on to corona holes now. This is earth energy. So you've got that cardinal earth that comes in from your neighbor Capricorn, but you also have that mutable earth that goes through you on the material side. There's no fixed earth in you whatsoever. Which would have to, it comes from Leo or mainly from Taurus. And that mutable earth on that sort of side there is basically going to make ideas of the universe of how you can physically do things become a little bit more sort of concrete. So you're not messing around. It's very much more sort of productive for you. It's also going to stimulate or slow down the impact of the physical emotion, the physical relationship side has upon your material sort of side. So it will free you up on your material side. So you can actually, this is a good time for you to make money, to do things, to to progress your career path and etc. So that's what you get through coronal holes. Let's just see what's going on. Let's just pick any old card. Let's just see what's going on. We've got the 7 of Wands, so it's fire energy, which could be from you. Let's just put it in the middle, for example. Here you've got that fixed water that's coming on this side, and then you've got the air and that cardinal earth that comes down. So basically, it's going to be stimulating your karmic path on this side more than anything else. And it's going to say to you, sort of concentrate on you, concentrate on where you're going and what you're doing in your life. But it will also sort of break down that fixed air and water that is on this side. So it's going to make where you position yourself, it's going to make you emotionally reassess how you are interacting with the relationships that are around you. Okay, so that's how you can sort of connect the cards on your weekly readings, which come out on the Friday for you guys, and also anything's going forward from there. Oh, I've been talking a lot, I do apologize. So, you know, it gives you the nuances of the tarot readings that we do here on the Astroflower. Okay, so there you go, Sagittarius. Thank you very much for being here with us. Yeah, I will see you during the week for your karma readings and for your weeklies and your chakras, your energy blueprint reading as well. Yes, in the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy. Capricorn, welcome. Let's just go into your flower here. You can see your flower in front of you. Now, first thing you'll notice is you are a cardinal sign, your earth cardinal sign, but you only have your earth at the top of your Astroflower, and at the base of you have water, cardinal water. So, and the other thing you will notice, and this is where there's a particularity about you, you are a false sign. There is actually, although it's very minimal, there is more water in you than there is earth. It's the same thing for Sagittarius, but also for Cancer, opposite of you. They have more earth than they do water within them, according to the Astroflower, but also Gemini as well. So the only earth that we can actually see within you is on that surface. This is why, Capricorn, you like to get things done. You are constantly wanting to finish things off. You're concentrating on that connection to the universe that is around you by doing things. You mark life by what people do, basically, rather than what people say or what people feel and stuff like that. Although you do have a huge amounts of water in you. One thing that should be said, you're the sign that has basically the most equal amount of elements across the board within you. So when it gets stimulated within your elements, it's going to be stimulated in a way that can sometimes be opposite to what is normal in a way. Okay, so let's just go in and let's just see what's going on. Let's just say we're having sort of sunspots. So let's look at the sunspot energy, and this is all to do with fire and air. And you have that crossing of that fire and air, which is just below you. Just below your petal 10, so your interaction with the world around you. There is a lot of stimulation that goes on under the surface that people don't see. A lot of stimulation through passion and huge amounts of mental input as well, because you have a huge amount of air in you as well. I think it's almost as equal to your earth. And as you get these sunspot energies, it's going to be stimulating all those sort of sides there. And it may make, in sunspots, it may make you a little bit sort of speedy, a little bit quicker in life, but it's going to make that earth very hard. So it may, you may find yourself sort of putting up barriers from the outside world. And this could be on your relationship as much as within your physical side of life. But it's going to be stimulating that fire and air. You only have that cardinal air going through you there. So within your fixed air that comes through you like that, which comes through you from Aquarius and from Scorpio, it can make you within solar flares or sunspot eruptions. It may sort of make your mental positions entrenched within you, or you lose the mental positioning you have in life. So you no longer perceive your future in a way. Okay, That's how it may sort of play it out within you, within Capricorn, because you are an opposite sign. But within your connection to the universe, it could also stimulate a lot of ideas. And could be where Capricorn likes to do a lot of different things and stimulate a lot of mental activities or mental aspects within their lives. You do have that mutable air that comes through there. So it will give a much more sort of direction to your karmic path in regards to your relationships. When you get involved in a relationships, Capricorn, because of your cardinal earth, and it's what you do is how you judge, it makes that mutable side of you, which is this sort of side, very forgiving or understanding of the world outside, and you'll tend to take that on your shoulders. So you tend to sort of it's like a rod a rod for your back that you can do within your life, which is not exactly which gets with the sunspot energy, actually makes that even more sort of rigid, that rod for your back, where you will put up with a lot of things from the outside world. Excuse me. Excuse me. You also have this cardinal fire, so that produces a lot of passions to your emotions in regards to your relationships and how you connect your relationships to the universe that is around you. So that's the sunspots. Let's get into filament energy. Now, filament energy is all to do with water. So you've got this mutable water that comes in from Pisces, but you've also got this water that comes in from Scorpio, and that's fixed that comes in from Aquarius as well upon you. This side of things here is going to stimulate this water side. So this is this fun-loving, very sociable aspect of Capricorn that comes to the surface. Really, really beautiful, beautiful energies. There's a lot of passions that come in there, so it makes your waters like really warm, like a tropical waters. On your physical side, though, it's going to sort of round off your emotional conviction of what you should be doing, and that feeds into that idea of Capricorn having to do more than one type of activity, more than anything else. The cardinal water that is below you, it was going to help to put a little bit less pressure upon yourself according about what you're doing and where you're going in life. Okay, let's get on to coronal holes. Now, coronal holes are the earth energies, and the only earth we got is that cardinal earth from your good selves, which is at the surface. So basically, with coronal holes is you get your head down and you get on and you do it, and you go and you follow your path, regardless of who is in your way. You're just going and plow through. So, coronal holes is a really good moment of actually working and doing things in your life, rather than emotional or mental sort of stuff, more than anything else. Okay, so there you go, Capricorn. Let's just have a look at, let's pick a card here. Let's say the Five of Pentacles. It's the earth energies. Let's just put it on this side because it is a financial sort of card as well. Normally, your mental and emotional sort of side of life gives you convictions about what you should be doing emotionally and mentally. And this side here is physical. It's earth energies that are bringing into it. So it may, if your card comes on here, say for example the Five of Pentacles comes on here, it's maybe a fact that it's trying to tell you that your ideas and your emotions do not match the physical concrete things that are happening on your karmic path. So you might be a little bit detached from your karmic path in regards of what is possible. That's the sort of way in which you can get a lot more nuances for you on a personal level in regards to the readings that come out once a week. There you go, Capricorn. Thank you very much for being here. We've got your karmic path heads up coming out on Wednesday. We've also got your weeklies coming out on Saturday, and I think there's another energy masterclass next Sunday according to the karma. That's going to be brilliant. I'll see you there, and then in the meantime, thank you very much for being here with us. Don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy. Okay, moving on to Aquarius. Aquarius. How are you doing? Okay, Aquarius, happy birthday to you. I think we're in your birthday season, so happy birthday to you when this video came out. So, you're fixed air with fixed water. So this is the water bearer. It's John the Baptist. You are air, so it's very conceptual. It's very religious. It's very mental in a way. Mental in a good sense, but mental in the way in which we do things. So there's a certain logic to your mental that is based upon the physical world in a way. The only thing I will say is, if you look carefully at your flower, the only earth you do have is coming up through here. So therefore, all your conceptual ideas will pass through this cardinal earth that will sort of say, my mental ideas have to actually have direction, weight, or purpose in life. Okay, so let's just see how it's, because there's a lot of air and water basically within you. You are John the Baptist. That's what, personifies the Aquarius, basically. Giving people a second chance of actually going and doing it. Being fair, being honest, and everything like that. Let's just see if we've got sort of sunspot energy. Now, sunspot energy is fire and air. The first things we should notice is the fire and air connection, which you have here. So it's going to stimulate your guides in order to provide a lot more activity within the coincidences that are around you, within the opportunities that come from the left field, that come from outside you. And it's going to stimulate that idea within your fixed air of sort of saying, mentally, this is how it should be. Therefore, this is how it's, this is how I've got to enact it. And as you get this sunspot energy that comes through, it may give a little bit of doubt to your physical sort of side, or when you emotionally get a little bit too fixed, or a little bit too, not fixed, but sort of attached to the physical side of life, simply because you've got that mutable water that's coming through, and it's going to stimulate that mutable water, which is going to make you emotionally either one way or the other. And sometimes it's not going to play out. It may not play out brilliant for you, but some of the times it may play out amazingly for you. It's a real game of two halves on that sort of side. On this side, you've got that cardinal fire that comes from Aries, which gives you that calculative conviction of passion. So the passion for life and the passion for the relationships that that you have with other people. You like to stimulate those relationships, and in times of sunspots, this is going to be stimulating your karmic path and your interaction with the others around you in regards to activities and stuff like that, activities and pastimes. Okay, you do have that fixed fire which is down at the base there. So as the sunspot energy comes through, the universe here is going to sort of offer you opportunities to explore your passions in life, basically. Let's move on to filament energies. Now, filament energies is to do with water. And you have that mutable water that comes in from your neighbor Pisces. And that mutable water is totally filament energy, because filament energy is mutable. So it's going to stimulate that exploration of emotions according to the material world. It's like exploring the emotions of baptizing, Here we have the very emotional idea, the concept of baptizing, of washing someone down, of making them whole again within the physical world. And it stimulates that sort of side within you. The other water that you do have is that cardinal water that comes up there. So that's going to stimulate your direction within your karmic direction within your relationships, emotional karmic direction. What do you wish to experience? Those are the sort of things that can come up on the surface. At the base of your petal, you've got that fixed water that is in from you. So it may sort of make that fixed emotion a little bit more sort of flexible. Let's put it that way. Flexible within inside you, so you can experience different types of emotions, basically. On your coronal whole energy, you've got this, that's earth energy. Now, you've got no fixed earth within you whatsoever. The only bit of fixed earth is outside you, but it's a pressure that is within you, and it's within the relationship side, on the connection to the outside world. The cardinal earth that comes from Capricorn, that's coming up through you there, gives you that practical thing. And as coronal holes come through, you are going to be very practical. You're going to do what you do exactly what it says on the tin, and just be there and happen to do it. It's also going to make your life very fertile, make your convictions, make your life very fertile, make you want to get results out of life, basically. Let's just see what happens when we pull a card on one of the petals. Let's just take the King of Cups. Now, the King of Cups is obviously an emotional sort of side of life. And let's just say it comes up in this section here. So it's going to be giving a little bit of slack within your karmic path. So a little bit of wiggle room, a little bit of room for maneuver. It's also going to act as a quelling of those passions. So it's going to be easier for you to, you don't suffer fools gladly. And I think that was one of your titles in one of your readings the other day. But here you're going to be, it's going to give you a bit of slack within that passion as well, of a way of keeping your emotions stable within very passionate sort of situations within the outside world. So you may be more forgiving and more relaxed according to the world that is around you. It will grate a little bit with the fixed air that is on the outside. So the emotions may not equate to the physical, mental perception of the relationships that are around you. Okay, so this is how you sort of can get a bit of nuance out of the cards for your own personal readings. So there you go, Aquarius. Thank you very much for being here with us. Don't forget, we've got your your karmic readings coming out on Monday, tomorrow. And you're also going to get your weekly readings coming out on Thursday. In the meantime, Aquarius, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy. Okay, moving on to Pisces. Pisces, how are you doing? Here we go. You are a pure water sign, and you personify filament energy, basically. You're mutable water that goes all the way around you. Yes, you do have water within you. You have that cardinal water that comes from Capricorn on this side, and that fixed water that comes from Aquarius, your neighbor, on that side, both on your karmic path. So within your workspace, it gives you real emotional conviction about what you should be doing on your physical sort of side, and on your emotional side, it's sort of saying, this is how I want the emotions. There's no give and take in it. This is how I want it. This is on your fixed side. On your material side, it's much more conviction of where you're going, basically. Let's just see how the solar energy interacts with it. So let's just say we got coronal holes coming through, and you've got a huge amounts of fire in you. You've got fire here, you've got fire here, fire that runs all the way through you here as well. And the funny thing is it's fire and air, so it does that crossing point that's just underneath you. So it's going to make your emotions, it could make your emotions boil, so it can make you very emotionally engaged in something, but it can also make your waters very warm and very relaxed and very, happy and very sociable. So during sunspot energies, this is what it could stimulate within you on the surface of you. If we go down further, we've got that cardinal fire that comes through with the cardinal water, and that fixed fire that comes with the fixed water. And this is where we have the two fish. So it can drive you from going one direction to about turn and go completely the other. So during sunspot energies, it may, and we've also got fire and water on this side, the mutable, do apologize, where the universe is also interacting with you. And here the universe is sort of like almost giving you a direction to your passions as well, which also then stimulates that idea of going one direction, then, oh no, I'm going to go the other way, sort of scenario. So that's the sort of sunspot energy. Let's move on to filament energy. Now this filament energy is mutable water, your good selves. So it's going to stimulate on the outside. I think it's going to make you feel very happy-go-lucky, being willing to engage or not engage with the world that is around you, both on the physical and the material, as much as within your relationship and emotional sort of side of life. But it's how you interact with the world around you. What it's going to do mainly is on your cardinal paths, reduce that idea of going from one direction to another. All of a sudden, it's kind of going, give or take. I don't mind. The direction here is going to be, here is going to be less pointed. And the fixed emotions that you're going to have on your karmic path, on your relationship side, are not going to be so fixed. It's going to reinforce that happy-go-lucky side of you that gets emotionally enthusiastic about things in life. Let's go on to corona holes. Corona holes is earth energies. Now it's fixed earth energy, and you do have that coming in from Taurus, which is just next to you there. The only earth you do have is there and there. So as this corona hole comes through, it's definitely going to stimulate that idea of fixed material side of your relationship. So your house, of how you interact with people with your house, how you interact with people with your pastimes and your pleasures and your activities. It becomes very clear of what you do. So when you get your bee in your bonnet about doing one thing with one person, it's going to always be like that. On this side, on your financial sort of side, it's actually going to blunten your direction. So you may find within coronal holes, there's a lot of work, but not really going anywhere. So that's what you might find on the financial sort of side during this period. Life being a little bit frustrated. Take that out of life, out of your life. Realize it's not necessarily just coming from you. Okay, so there you go. There's the three energies there. Let's just see what's going on. Let's just see if we pull a card. So we've got the Ace of Cups here. Very much a Pisces energy. And it's difficult not to find a place with energy, with water energy on it. But let's just put it on in the middle. What it's going to stimulate here is this new plan of offering your heart, or being hearts offered to you, in the direction of your material karmic path. So it's going to open up new passionate ways or things that you would like to do within the material world on the physical side of life. It's also going to quell a little bit of your passion. So it's going to be a little bit more sort of based upon the emotions rather than on the passion of actually doing it. And on that side. And it's going to stop that mental side of your relationship sort of imposing upon your direction of your physical life. Okay, so this is in one way of how to connect the cards to your Astroflower reading. It's going to give you a nuance, basically, of how you can read an even clearer the Astroflower through the weeklies and get more out of the weeklies without me having to reiterate it each time. Okay, it will help you to sort of get a lot more out of life. You will have a copy of your Astroflower that you can buy, your Astroflower book, which is in the links in the description below. You'll also find a copy of your flower as well. I will see you on Monday for your, on Tuesday, sorry, for your karma reading. And then I will see you on Friday for your weeklies and your energy blueprint reading, your chakras and your auras as well. In the meantime, thank you very much for being here with us, Pisces. Don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.